Cowabunga! The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have officially made their VR debut, and it is a full-on four-player co-op beat-em-up set right on the gritty, neon-lit rooftops of New York City. We're talking about an experience that literally lets you step right into the half-shell of your favorite childhood heroes. Welcome to this explainer.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Is this the ultimate licensed VR game fans have actually been waiting for? Or is it just another hollow franchise cash grab? Today, we're going to take a really objective look at TMNT Empire City. We'll break down the stunning traversal mechanics. And yeah, we'll talk about the noticeable flaws holding it back too.
So here's our roadmap for today's breakdown. Section 1, Welcome to Empire City. Section 2, How does it feel? Section 3, The combat and co-op. Section 4, Respecting the legacy. And finally, Section 5, The final verdict.
All right, Section 1, Welcome to Empire City, the basics of the half shell. Let's move to and see how this builds. Developed by Cortopia Studios, this title launched in April 2026 across the Meta Quest 3 and 3S, Steam VR, and Pico headsets. It's a narrative-based VR beat-em-up where you take the fight directly to the Foot Clan.
You know, instead of just retelling that same 1980s cartoon we've seen a million times, the narrative here makes a genuinely brilliant choice. It borrows heavily from the gritty Mirage comics and the modern IDW series. Specifically, it echoes that famous City at War storyline. So the plot kicks off right after the Shredder's been killed. And boom, that creates this massive power vacuum, completely throwing New York into a dark, chaotic civil war. On one side, you've got Karai, trying to bring structured order to the Foot Clan. On the other, Mashima, this mystic zealot completely obsessed with Shredder's terrifying legacy. You aren't just out there saving the city, you are literally deciding the future of the criminal underworld.
Moving right along to Section 2, How does it feel? Scaling the neon rooftops. Let's be real. The absolute most crucial part of any VR game is the physical feel, right? Well, the traversal system is widely considered the absolute standout feature of Empire City.
What's really interesting about this is how well Cortopia translated the Ninja Turtles' legendary agility into this high-speed, yet somehow nausea-free locomotion system. You can physically reach out and climb highlighted environmental stuff hand over hand. We're talking pipe trains, window ledges, light poles. Throw in these crazy mid-air dashes and a mechanical grappling hook, and you get a parkour system that feels incredibly fluid. It's almost like a giant puzzle you're sprinting through. Now, they do include comfort settings like snap turning and motion vignettes, but honestly, with all these rapid vertical shifts, you're definitely going to need your VR legs for this one.
Section 3, The combat and co-op. Blades, bow staffs, and brotherhood. Because hey, running across rooftops is awesome, but eventually, you've got to fight. Let's break down exactly how each brother handles in a virtual street fight.
The developers absolutely nailed the distinct physicality of the Turtles on the Quest 3 controllers. When you look down, you literally see 3 green fingers gripping your weapon. It's so cool. If you pick up Donatello's bow staff, you actually have to grip it with both hands to charge your focus meter and use its incredible reach. Raphael's Sais, they require this super aggressive, in-your-face brawler style. Leonardo's swords give you balanced precision for parrying, while Mikey's nunchucks are just incredibly fast and loose. Every single turtle genuinely feels completely different to play, complete with unique focus mode perks to match their specific style.
But we've got to talk about the elephant in the room. There is a major design issue holding the combat back. The melee system, it's not physics-based. Your virtual weapons just pass directly through enemy models without any realistic physical impact resistance, what devs call hit stops. Because of this, players can totally bypass the game's tactical blocking and parrying system through waggling. Yeah, waggling. You can just stand next to a boss, aggressively shake your controllers like a madman, and absolutely melt their health bar with zero effort. This exploit is notoriously bad with Michelangelo's nunchucks, completely trivializing encounters that were clearly meant to be strategic.
And here is the catch. So the crucial point is that while the 4-player co-op actually runs remarkably well in standalone headsets and is hilarious fun, there are massive multiplayer barriers creating severe friction for the community. The progression system is entirely host-dependent. That means if you play a 3-hour session in your buddy's game, literally none of that story progress saves to your own profile. On top of that, there are 0 public matchmaking lobbies. You can only play with people if you have a private invite code. And when you finally do connect, the constant, unskippable narrative NPC dialogue actively overlaps and talks right over your live voice chat with your friends. It's a bit of a mess.
But, you know, despite those structural headaches, the actual experience of playing the game with friends is undeniably magical. Look at this quote from an Oculus Quest player. They're saying the visual style and fun multiplayer are totally pulling them in.
The sheer nostalgic joy of teaming up in the sewer lair, actually high-fiving your friends in VR, throwing pizza around and coordinating these chaotic street takedowns, it's incredibly potent. The game really does capture that playful, whimsical energy of the franchise we all grew up loving.
We do have to contrast that, though, with the harsh reality of VR gaming right now. Check out this other community quote. Players are intensely frustrated by the lack of open lobbies, literally calling it infuriating. VR already has a somewhat limited pool of players to draw from. Forcing users to rely on Discord to track down private invite codes just to experience the flagship 4-player mode is a baffling design choice. It completely alienates gamers who just don't happen to have 3 friends with VR headsets sitting around ready to jump in.
Moving to Section 4, Respecting the Legacy. A darker, cel-shaded reality. Let's evaluate whether the tone, art style, and narrative actually respect the legacy of this beloved 40-year-old franchise.
Artistically, the game is a total triumph. The bold, cel-shaded graphics look like they were ripped straight from the pages of a comic book. It offers incredible production quality and authenticity, but, and this brilliantly illustrates the divide here, when you compare it to other licensed heavy hitters on the platform, like Batman Arkham Shadow or Alien Rogue Incursion, TMNT's lack of deep, physics-based mechanics becomes glaringly obvious. It absolutely looks the part, but it doesn't quite have the mechanical depth of its peers. Which brings us to Section 5, the final verdict. Worth the price of a pizza? We've weighed the incredible parkour movement and gorgeous art against the repetitive levels, the shallow waggle combat, and those frustrating multiplayer barriers. So where does that actually leave us?
Well, it leaves us with a very modest price tag of just $24.99. Look, yes, the city streets often feel a bit empty. And yes, the combat definitely lacks the physical weight you might want from a modern VR title. But honestly, despite its noticeable flaws, Empire City delivers undeniable, wish-fulfilling fun. Just being able to physically embody a Ninja Turtle, actually explore their fully detailed sewer lair, and seamlessly parkour across the New York skyline with your friends, it's an absolute blast that truly respects the franchise's legendary roots.
So, I've got to ask, which turtle would you main in VR? And what other licensed franchise would you most want to see get the VR treatment? Let me know in the comments. Keep learning, keep exploring, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.